these many steps, 2 to 7, and then 10 and 11. Try to match with the color codes. This is red in color, so these are the steps which is red in color. Only those are service delivery project stages. So what are the service delivery project stages over here? Service inventory analysis, then we have service oriented analysis, oriented design, then logic design, then development, then testing, and we directly jump to service discovery and service versioning and retirement. What are these stages? We are going to see. Similarly, we have from 3 to 11, these stages are called service life cycle stages. Service life cycle stages from 3 to 11, right? So the very first step is SOA adoption planning, then service inventory analysis. So we are going to see each one of the steps uh, now. So what is SOA adoption planning? So it basically tells you about the foundational planning decisions which are made at this stage, right? Suppose any project comes to your organization, and if you want to, what we need to do, we suppose a project comes to your organization. The very first step is to decide whether what are the different options we have for the architecture design, right? Whether we should go for SOA, whether we should go for microservice architecture, whether we should go for layered architecture, or different types of architecture we have. We have seen in the software architecture course in the last semester. So we have different types of architecture. So if a project comes to you, you need to decide for which architecture we should go for that particular project, right? So at this stage we are considering whether the project can be developed using SOA or not, right? If it is going to develop by SOA, we need to decide major we need to decide major things. What are those things? These things are written over here, and these things, these planning, the foundational planning are generally done by the higher officials in the company. So so what are the foundational decisions taken at this stage? Let's see. The first one is a scope of planned service inventory and the ultimate target state. Second one is to set up the milestone representing the intermediate target states. Third one is to set up the timeline for the completion of milestones and the overall adoption effort, the available funding and the suitable funding model. And they also decide the governance systems. They also decide the management system. What are the methodology we are going to follow for the SOA project? And they also access the risk, right? So these are very high level things which are generally performed by the high officials in the company. So at this stage we do not do any we do not perform any of these stages, right? So our work starts from this part from design to testing, right? As a developer, we start from designing, then logic design, then development, and then we can test. If you are working in a deployment sector, then you should go for this deployment, then monitoring, then this discovery and versioning are done by, again, higher professionals. So the second stage is service inventory analysis. So now the first step is already done. In the first step, we what is the deliverable at the first step? The first step, we concluded that yes, we are going for SOA project, right? Means from project level, level, after processing the first step, we conclude that yes, we are going to proceed with the SOA in this project, right? So now what is the next step? The next step is to service inventory analysis. So service inventory analysis itself consists of four steps. These are the four steps. First one, we define enterprise models. We will see what is the meaning of these enterprise models. So the first step is to define the enterprise business models. Then define the technology architecture. This one is the step 1. Under inventory analysis, this is the step 1. Then we define the technology architecture. Then we define the service inventory blueprint. Then we perform service oriented analysis. This is the step 3. Means the next step after, you can see over here, the next step after service inventory analysis, the next step after service oriented inventory analysis is service oriented analysis, right? So in this service inventory analysis, it has 3 steps, and the last step of this service inventory analysis is itself service oriented analysis, right? So try to focus over here. Yeah, so this one is the at this step, what we do, we define the enterprise business model, then we define the technology architecture, then we define the service inventory blueprint, and then we perform service oriented analysis. These are the 4 steps in service inventory analysis cycle, and each of these steps are performed for each of the business process, each of the business process, right? So suppose after considering that we are going for SOA in our upcoming project, so what we do, we simply we simply take the business document and analyzing those business document and find out what are the different business model in those business document, right? And for those business models, suppose a project like weather forecasting systems, we found out that our business model working in a sector like weather forecasting, right? So for that, we need to decide the technology architecture. Since the weather forecasting system is mainly based on the machine learning kind of thing, so we decide we should go for Python, right? Python, and there are many technology specific to weather forecasting system like GIS system, geo information system kind of thing. So these are the technology architecture we should decide for any particular business model, right? And depending on those, we need to define the service inventory. What is the meaning of service inventory? We need to find the collection of services. We need to define the collection of services we should consider for our service oriented analysis phase, right? So don't worry, we will be going to see each one of the steps. See over here. So the in service inventory analysis stage, it is dedicated to conceptually defining a inventory of services, right? It is comprised of cycle. We have already seen the cycle, during which the service oriented analysis stage is carried out during each iteration, right? And what is the meaning of iteration? The iteration represents a single business process. Suppose we have 5 business process, then we should go for 5 iterations, right? So the cycle repeated until all the business process that fall within the domain here represents that weather forecasting system, right? So within the domain of the service inventory are analyzed and decomposed into individual actions suitable for service encapsulation, right? We need to find out the different individual actions which can be encapsulated in the form of service. So the primary deliverable at this stage is service inventory blueprint. Means at this stage we can come up with the what are the different set of individual actions which can be encapsulated in form of service. At this point we know these things, right? Means after performing this stage we can come up with what are the different individual actions which can be converted, which can be encapsulated in form of services. So this service inventory blueprint depends. See over here, the size of the target service inventory tend to determine the amount of upfront effort required to create a complete service inventory blueprint. Means if we are investing more money on upfront analysis, then we can come up with then we can come up with better quality inventory of services, right? And if we are not investing such a huge chunk of money for upfront analysis, then it leads to partial and less well defined service inventory blueprints, right? This due to this ways it may be possible for same project, if we are not investing not investing huge money on the upfront analysis, it may be possible Rishabh may get different service inventory blueprint, and Mahendra Sharma may get another service inventory blueprint, right? And those service inventory blueprints are those scenarios we have skipped in last chapter, that 8 scenarios, right? Suppose for weather forecasting system, it may happen, let's say Rishabh has invested, let's say 50K for this upfront analysis. So it may it may be possible that he may get 2 services at this task service layer, and 3 services at this layer, and let's say 5 services at this layer, right? And let's say Mahendra Sharma is investing 30K, so it may be possible that he is only getting at 1 service at this layer and 3 services at this layer. But both this service inventory, this is better quality of inventory of service. This is better quality of inventory service because we are investing more on upfront analysis, and this is of partial or partial, or we can say less well defined service inventory blueprint, but both can do the same thing. So what is the advantage of investing huge money? Anyone?
To save money in the later phases, like maintenance.
So at the later point of time, when we want to reuse this service or this service, it may be it is possible only if you have invested huge chunk of money in upfront analysis, right? But in this case, we don't have any reusable services, right? Getting my point?
Sir, in first case, it was not.
Sorry. कुछ बोल रहे थे महेंद्र शर्मा?
Sir, बोले कि sir, like in this case we don't have any reusable services, sir. So,
right. So it depends on your investment in upfront analysis, whether you are getting a highly qualified or better quality inventory of service, or less well, you can say less well or partial well defined service of service inventory blueprints, right? So this kind of scenarios you can get, or you can get either one of 8 scenarios, right? In the last chapter, in the in the last chapter we have seen 8 scenarios. So depending on your investment on upfront analysis, you may get any one of them, any one of the 8 scenarios. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Right. So if you compare 8 scenarios in the last chapter, so you can place them in a certain order. You can place them in a certain order according to their investment they require, right? Suppose it may be possible that scenario number 7 requires lots of means a huge chunk of money to get this scenarios 8 than scenario 6. Getting my point? Everyone?
Yes, sir.
I have already told you to please go through this whole chapter once, this ongoing chapter number 10. So if you are not haven't visit this chapter, it would be quite difficult for you, for me as well. So let's see what is the meaning of this enterprise business model, and the meaning of this technology architecture. What is the meaning of service inventory, and this service oriented analysis? So at this enterprise, how we can define this enterprise business model? So what is the meaning of business model? If anyone asks you what is the business model of Swiggy, anyone? the business model is simply how they earns money, right? What is the meaning of business model? Business model is how they earns money, right? Suppose let's say in metropolitan city, what is, let's say you have a building, and let's say you have two flats you want to rent out, right? You have two flats you want to rent out, and there are many people who are searching for the rooms, right? So let's say here is a person who simply contacts this one, and the building owner, and these persons, right? So and he simply what this person do? He simply contact this building owner to the person who are searching for the rooms. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
या तो इसमें यहाँ पे इसका बिजनेस मॉडल क्या है? इसमें बिजनेस मॉडल इसका ये है कि ये इससे 1 मंथ का रेंट इससे ले लेता है. Getting my point? So that is the business model. Business model means how they earns money. So what is the business model of this person? He simply earns money. Suppose
with rent, sir.
या मतलब 1 मंथ का जो पैसा उसको आने वाला है वो रख लेगा वो. तो that is how his business runs, right? So that is the meaning of business model, right? So similarly for any company, any big organization, how they made money, how they makes up the money, so that is their business model. If you talk about the business model of banking system, any SBI, so they earns money through their providing loans to the customers, right? So if you talk about the Amazon, AWS or any company, they because they are running the business, they must follow some certain business model. So the business model simply says how they earns money. So what is the meaning of this enterprise business model? So at this stage, what we do, we found out the different business process. So to earn money, we need to follow some certain business process. इस केस की बात करें तो what is the business process over here? Anyone? Anyone? जल्दी करो, खत्म करना है ये. So the business process, see how this person is going to earn money by taking money from this building owner, right? So what is the business process? The business process is like this person needs to register with this woman, right? This person, right? And this building owner needs to register themselves with this person, right? Suppose this building owner wants only a family. He does not allow for bachelors, right? Let's say he only allows to rent out his rooms for family members. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
So what is the business process? This person needs to register with this person, and this building owner also needs to register with this person, right? So this is how the business process. This is the meaning of the business process. To earn something, they require certain business process, right? And to define a business process, we require business entity models. Business entity model. What is the meaning of business entity model? That is the meaning of register. You need a register or ledger. देखो ना, गांव में रहता है लेजर.
Yes, समझ.
तो वो business entity models क्या? Models mean what is the meaning of models? You must have gone through the database course in your BTech, right? So that is the entity model. कि आप आइए इस पेज में यहाँ लिख दीजिए, ऑनर आएगा इस पेज में यहाँ लिख देंगे, ये किस डेट को आया जो लिख देंगे, और इस डेट में ये आया, इसको फैमिली, इसको चाहिए 1 फ्लोर का बिल्डिंग, इसको सिंगल रूम चाहिए, इसको चाहिए क्या, इसको चाहिए फैमिली ग्रुप वाला फैमिली, मतलब बैचलर्स नहीं चाहिए उसको. समझ रहे हो?
यस सर.
तो वो पूरा डिटेल लिखने के लिए व्हाट वी नीड अ सर्टेन टेबल्स, That is the business entity models. In case of businesses, it is called business entity models. And what we need? The logical data models. We need to connect those tables. Getting my
This
point,
data
everyone?
flows. Yes, sir. Data flows like.
सर तो इसको कौन सा बिजनेस मॉडल बोलेंगे सर?
बिजनेस मॉडल बहुत तरीके का होता है। देखो इसमें बिजनेस मॉडल में क्या है कि अर्न मनी, कोई भी बिजनेस मॉडल होता है। अगर मान लो कल को तुम लोग स्टार्टअप चालू करते हो तो तुम फंडिंग के लिए जाओगे तो तुम्हें क्या दिखाना होगा? बिजनेस मॉडल दिखाना होगा कि तुम कैसे काम कर रहे हो, तुम कैसे पैसा कमाओगे, तभी तो कोई इन्वेस्ट करेगा तुम्हारी कंपनी में।
यस सर।
तो how you are going to earn money from your business, that is your business model. And what are the different business process, what are the different business process through which you are going to earn money? And to perform certain business process we require business entity models, right? And there are different sets of business entity models that needs to communicate with each other, like different tables are combined using joint statement, that is logical data models. Getting my point, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So अब यहां तक तो हो गया। अब द सेकेंड स्टेज इज, अब ये बिजनेस किस टाइप का डिपेंड करता है, डिपेंडिंग ऑन द बिजनेस वी नीड टू डिफाइन द टेक्नोलॉजी आर्किटेक्चर, राइट? सपोज हम लोगों ने इसी में कुछ मशीन लर्निंग लगाना चाहते हैं कि वो ऑटोमेटिकली डिटेक्ट कर ले, मतलब कुछ भी ऐसा कुछ बिजनेस मॉडल में कि वो ऑटोमेटिकली क्लासिफाई कर दे कि किसको फैमिली मेंबर चाहिए और उसका रेपुटेशन लिखना पड़ेगा। मान लो इस ऑनर के पास इसका रेपुटेशन कहता है कि ये 3 महीने से ज्यादा किसी को नहीं रहने देता है, और इसका रेपुटेशन कहता है कि ये 3 साल से ज्यादा किसी में नहीं रहता है। तो डिपेंडिंग ऑन देयर रेपुटेशन वी नीड टू डिजाइन अ सर्टेन मॉडल जो मैच करे कि यहाँ पे भी कुछ होगा जो 3 महीना से ज्यादा नहीं रहता होगा। समझ रहे हो?
Yes, sir.
और यहाँ पे तो ये इसको मैच करने के लिए कुछ हमको एक ऐसा एल्गोरिदम डिजाइन करना पड़ेगा। तो फॉर डिजाइनिंग दैट काइंड ऑफ एल्गोरिदम व्हाट आर द डिफरेंट टेक्नोलॉजी वी नीड, राइट? सो दिस इज हाउ at this stage, at the technology architecture stage, we define what are the different requirement, the technology requirement to perform this business process or business models. Getting my point?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
यस सर।
तो एट दिस स्टेज वी डिफाइन व्हाट आर द डिफरेंट टेक्नोलॉजी स्ट्रक्चर। जैसे मान लो कल को तुम कोई कंपनी में काम करोगे तो तुम्हारा फ्रेंड पूछेगा कि तुम कौन सी टेक्नोलॉजी पे काम कर रहे हो, तो दैट इज द टेक्नोलॉजी आर्किटेक्चर। फॉर अ सर्टेन प्रोजेक्ट वी नीड अ टेक्नोलॉजी लिस्ट ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी ऑन विच दे आर वर्किंग ऑन, राइट? सॉरी। Then the service inventory blueprint. After the initial definition that establishes the scope, the structure and the planned service inventory, this blueprint acts as a master specification where model services candidates are documented. It is just like a document where we have a different sets of services. Like in the previous stage, what we found out, we have found out that there are certain actions. These are the certain actions, and these actions are suitable to convert into a service, right? So we need to document those actions in a particular document that is called service inventory document or service inventory blueprint. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
तो इस स्टेज तो हमारे पास क्या होगा कि ये these are the actions. For now these are only the actions, these are not the service, these are the only the actions, and these actions are capable to be converted into a particular service. We don't know whether this service is entity service, task service, or microservice, or utility service. We don't know at this point of time. We simply know that these are the different set of actions which can be converted. These having the potential to be converted into a certain service, right, at later point of time. So what we do at this stage, we simply document them. We simply write them in a certain file so that at the later stages it can be converted into certain it can be classified into certain services. whether these services are entity service, utility service, task service, or microservice, right? And when do we do classify these? These are classified in service-oriented analysis phase. Getting my point? At this stage, we classify each of these services into different means this is also called modeling. You must have in your machine learning, you must have heard of what is the model. Model simply classifies things, right? Everyone.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So here you can see this is also called service modeling. So what is the meaning of model? Model means classifies things, right? Which is able to classify things, that is called model, right? And what is the meaning of service modeling? Which has capability to classify different services, right? So so at this service modeling, at this service oriented analysis phase, what we do, we do the modeling. We classify just this service into, let's say, utility service, this is microservice, this is let's say task service, and this is utility, right? So the to categorize these given services into different forms, that is the job of this service oriented analysis phase. And this single step, this modeling single steps is consist of 12 steps within, right? Getting my point? It is not like you can simply convert these single steps, these services into utility, microservice, task service, or any kind of service, right? Getting my point? So it requires 12 steps. And what is the output of this service oriented analysis phase? You will come up with this kind of architecture. This one. Right. In the last chapter, we have seen this kind of architecture, the 3-layer architecture. Getting my point? So after performing service oriented analysis, you can come up with this kind of architecture, right? And after that, we know the steps. Simply take each one of these service, and try to realize using Oracle SWASUIT or any other programming languages, right? So till this step, it is a bit confusing. After this, we know each and everything. This service oriented analysis phase. So now see the theoretical aspect of this service oriented analysis. So what we do, the first step is define business automation requirements, and the second step is find out the existing automation systems, and the third one is model candidate service. What is the meaning of model here? To classify. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
So the first step is business automation requirements. So we will see these steps. First, see this diagram. Take 2 minutes, see this diagram. What is the difference between this traditional project development approach and this SUA project development approach? Try to observe the difference. Take 2 minutes. It is 46. I will ask anyone at 48. Anyone able to explain this diagram? Anyone? Okay. So we have a business analyst. This person is business analyst, and the second person is technical architect. Right. It has, let's say, it must have, let's say, 12 or 13 years of experience. Right. The technical architect in a particular company or particular organization. So what is the job of business analyst? It simply goes to a particular organization or any enterprise organization which has some certain business models to earn certain money, and he analyzes the whole system and write out a business document. Everyone try to listen me carefully. Business analyst goes to a particular organization or a particular enterprise and analyzes the business model and what are the different requirements they have, and they simply he or she simply document those business models in a business document. Right. In traditional project, what is done, and then business analyst hand over the business document to the technical architect. Right. And the technical architect goes line by line and find out what are the different ways to architect those business model in a means how to automate those business models. Getting my point?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But in case of service oriented architecture, how the business analyst works, for this point, it is similar like the traditional approach, but at this level, at the second level, is the business analyst does not hand over the business document to the technical architect team. The business analyst and the technical architect works hands-on, works with one another to define the conceptual design together to ensure accurate representation of business logic. Right. ये अगर इसको कुछ प्रॉब्लम होगा तो ये इससे पूछेगा कि मतलब how we should proceed in that particular direction to get the accurate representation of the business logic. Right. And then they together finalizes the particular physical design, physical architecture. Right. और ये मिलेगा सर्विस डेवलपर्स को, और ये देखेंगे कि ये सर्विस है, ये सर्विस है और ये सर्विस है, और तीनों को कोड करेंगे. समझ रहे हो everyone?
Yes, sir.
So one question arises: how the business analyst gathers the requirement, analyzes the system, means analyzes the particular organization to get the business model and the different requirements. Anyone?
Sir, on the basis of different research.
So
like
इस पे बहुत सारा बुक भी लिखा हुआ है, बिजनेस मींस रिक्वायरमेंट गैदरिंग पे बहुत सारा बिजनेस बुक्स भी लिखा हुआ है. ठीक है. किसी ने बदला मूवी देखा है?
Yes, sir.
ये अमिताभ बच्चन जो है ना, ये एनालिस्ट है, और एक जो एक्ट्रेस है इधर, ये समझ लो ये क्या कहते हैं, ये ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से कोई हाई पोस्ट का आदमी है. इसको नहीं पता है कि ये टेक्निकल कैसे होता है. ये बिजनेस का आदमी है, बिजनेस पर्सन. ठीक है. ये बिजनेस एनालिस्ट, दैट इज अमिताभ बच्चन का काम है इससे बार बार पूछना, एक ही चीज को बार बार पूछना. तो वो अगर वो मूवी को देखे हो तो समझ लो पूरा मूवी में बिजनेस मींस रिक्वायरमेंट गैदरिंग ही हो रहा है. एवरीवन?
Yes, sir.
So this is how we can say the service orientation aims to align business and IT more closely. Means for this step, for the second stage, we can gain insight from this step that the business and IT works more closely, right, in service oriented architecture. That is why the service oriented architecture and its different variants are gaining popularity day by day. So now we are going to see these 3 steps. So the first step is business automation requirement. For now we know these steps. What is the meaning of business automation requirement? Means business analyst go to a particular organization and in simply asks, means एक रिसर्च तो करेगा ही, और देयर आर डिफरेंट वेज टू गैदर रिक्वायरमेंट्स फ्रॉम अ पर्टिकुलर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. सबसे जाके पूछेगा, सबसे बात करेगा, वो बहुत तरीका है, ठीक है. तो इसके लिए वो बिजनेस एनालिस्ट उसके लिए ट्रेंड है, समझ लो ये अमिताभ बच्चन है इसका. देन ही सिंपली हैंड्स ओवर और यू कैन से वर्क्स विद द टेक्निकल आर्किटेक्ट टीम, एंड द टेक्निकल आर्किटेक्ट टीम you can say technical architect team finds out whether any one of the business model is already existed in our inventory or not. Getting my point? जो पहले से है उसको क्यों बनाना? Everyone?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
by using this step 2, we are confirming the service reusability. राइट, एंड देन उसके बाद द थर्ड स्टेप इज, जो हमारे पास बचा हुआ है उसका क्या करना है? मॉडलिंग करना है. व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ मॉडलिंग? टू क्लासिफाई. यू नो द मीनिंग ऑफ दिस मॉडल. और मॉडल ऑलवेज क्या करता है? क्लासिफाई करता है. जो हमारे पास लिस्ट ऑफ थिंग्स दिया हुआ उसको क्लासिफाई करेगा. तो व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ दिस मॉडल? द सर्विस मॉडलिंग, व्हाट सर्विस मॉडलिंग डज? इट सिंपली क्लासिफाइज the list of services we have from previous stages and classifies those services into either utility service, task service, microservice, or what are the last one? Entity service, right? So these are the see, the third step is service modeling is a classification technique. I've already highlighted those keywords. The service modeling is a classification technique used to indicate that the service belongs to one of the several predefined types. What are those predefined types? These are the predefined types based on the type of the logic. So how we can classify those things? So the reason behind the classification is based on the type, the logic it contains, the reusable potential of the logic. If anything has more reusable potential, then it comes under utility service. Everyone getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, if any service more relatable to the actual business logic, actual business logic, then it may be task service or microservice, right? And if any service is more relatable to the business entity model, then it may be entity service. Right. Sorry, in this reuse potential, it is utility service. I have marked to this utility service. So if any service has more reusable potential, then it is utility service. If any service is more relatable to the existing business models, then it is utility service. Or if any service is more relatable to the actual business logic, not the business entity model, actual business logic, then it may be task service or microservice. Don't worry, we have a particular chapter, that chapter number 11 is all based on this 12 steps of this. So don't worry if you are not understanding for now. So now the third step is, we have done with these steps. Yeah, so we have done with these 3 steps. Now we have service oriented design, service logic design, development, testing, and then this chapter will end. So now we are moving to service oriented design. So in service oriented design, what we do? We simply design the WSDL, right? We simply design the WSDL file. So in the calculator web service, you must have observed that we have first created the WSDL file. Everyone remember that calculator web service in the lab?
Yes, sir.
So the previous approaches was like I was creating a particular service, then I was extracting the WSDL file for particular service. Getting my point? What we were doing? We were creating a particular service, and then after creating a service, we were extracting those WSDL file, right? In the previous approach. But in case of calculator web service, what we have done? We have created WSDL file first. You must have observed we have created WSDL file first, where we have added add message, subtract message. Remember everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The second last lab sessions. Calculator web service. So we have different types of messages. Then means we have created WSDL, and then from WSDL we have created service, right?
Yes, sir.
So this approach is called contract first approach. What is the meaning of contract? This is the WSDL is the meaning of this WSDL is the contract. Means what are the different services you are going to provide me, and what are the different requirements for the particular to access those particular service, that all resides in this WSDL file. So first we create the WSDL file, then we create the service based on this WSDL file. That is called contract first approach. So in the in the top down approach, what we do? In service oriented architecture top down approach, what we do? We go for this contract first approach. Means what we do? We see over here the service design, the service oriented design. This is the meaning of designing the WSDL file. So we first create this WSDL file, then we create the service. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
So see these steps. The previous step was this one, where we have created the service, then we have created the WSDL file from that. But the correct approach is, which we have followed in the calculator web service, where we had created the WSDL file first, then we had created services from that WSDL file, right? So the correct approach is this one, right? So the previous approach was this one. We have, which we are following before calculator web service one. We have created a web service, then we have extracted the WSDL file. This approach was incorrect, right? But the correct approach was this one. So please go through this diagram later on. So I've already discussed these points now. So in the service oriented design part, where we have to design the contract. What is the meaning of contract? To design the WSDL means if we have a requirement of calculator web service, we know we require 4 operations, right? Everyone?
Yes, sir.
So for the 4 operations, we have designed the WSDL file. So similarly, if we have a set of services, how we know that we have different set of services from the previous stages? In the service oriented analysis phase, the output of the service oriented analysis phase was the set of services. From the set of services, what we do? We simply create the WSDL file, each of these services, right? And those services may be entity service, utility service, microservice, and task service, right? So the approach is the correct approach is like to first create the entity service, then we should create the utility service, then we should create the microservice, then we should create the task service. And for creating each of these services means creating the WSDL file. I'm not talking about the actual coding. I'm talking about the contract designing. So for creating contract for entity service, design service, entity, utility, or microservice or task service, they have different approaches, and those approaches are very similar. Not means they having the similar approach, but there is a small difference in each one of them. We will see in the next chapter. Everyone getting this point? Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Please go through this chapter once. Now the service development. At this, after creating this WSDL file, means if we in the last in the calculator web service example, what we have done, we have created WSDL file, and after a WSDL file for calculator web service, right? So this stage is called service oriented design stage, and after that what we do, we jump to service logic design, or you can say service development, right? So after that we jump over to service development. For the service development, here we choose the choice of different programming language we have for the development of particular service. Either you could choose Python for that service development, or you can choose any of the available programming language depending on your business models you are working on. So depending on those, we can choose different programming languages. That is called service development. So the one point is over here. After all design specifications have been completed, the actual programming of service can begin here, right? The service developers will generally have clear direction as how to build various parts of the service architecture, right? This point I have already discussed. So in service oriented analysis phase, we have already this architecture, this kind of architecture. So the service developer the job of the service developer starts from here. So simply what service developer does, create each of the WSDL for each of the services. For each of the services at different layers, they simply create the WSDL file, that is the contract first approach, and then they go for creating the development of those services. That is the development approach, the service development. After developing, they test the services. So in the last lecture, we have already seen the difference between the service testing, that in the lab we have tested the service, that is not the service testing. Actual service testing is different from them, right? For the service testing, we have different tools, that is SOAP UI, and anyone? What was the second tool? Postman, right? So these are the testing tool. What we have done in our lab in Oracle SOA Suite, that is not the service testing. हम लोगों ने वहां पर सिर्फ चेक किया था कि सर्विस हमारा चल रहा है कि नहीं, टेस्ट नहीं किया था. द मीनिंग ऑफ द टेस्टिंग इज कि कोई भी इन्वायरमेंट हो, एंड द प्रोडक्शन इन्वायरमेंट, अगर यूजर कुछ भी इनपुट करता है तो उसके लिए एक करेक्ट मैसेज उसको मिलना चाहिए. सपोज अगर हम लोगों ने गेट का फॉर्म भरा था, तो अगर मान लो पिक्चर अपलोड करने की जगह हम लोग पीडीएफ अपलोड कर दें, ठीक है, पिक्चर अपलोड करने की जगह हम लोग पीडीएफ अपलोड कर दें, तो द सिस्टम शुड रिएक्ट इन अ करेक्ट वे, राइट? यस सर.
यस सर.
तो दैट इज सर्विस टेस्टिंग. अगर जब हम लोगों ने बनाया होगा, जब कोई डेवलपर उसको बनाया होगा, तो वो क्या टेस्ट किया होगा? पिक्चर अपलोड करके देखा होगा, अगर अपलोड हो गया तो हो गया, यही ना किया होगा?
यस सर.
उसने पीडीएफ अपलोड करके नहीं देखा होगा टेस्ट करते समय. कौन किसकी बात कर रहा हूं मैं? डेवलपर की. तो वो टेस्टर का काम है कि वो पीडीएफ अपलोड करके देखे, उसमें इमेज अपलोड करके देखे, और उसमें जितना ही फॉर्मेट आता है सब अपलोड करके देखे कि सिस्टम क्या रिएक्ट करता है. दैट इज द पार्ट ऑफ द सर्विस टेस्टर्स. गेटिंग माय पॉइंट? सर्विस डेवलपर का जॉब इतना ही है कि वो टेस्ट करे कि पिक्चर अपलोड करना है तो पिक्चर अपलोड हो रहा है या नहीं. ठीक है. कभी कभी हम लोगों ने देखा होगा कि पिक्चर अपलोड करते ही वो एस्पेक्ट रेशियो के कारण पिक्चर, अगर मान लो तुम्हारा ये पिक्चर इस टाइप से है तो वो पिक्चर इस टाइप से हो जाएगा. पोर्ट्रेट से लैंडस्केप में हो जाता है ना?
यस सर.
ड्यू टू डिफरेंट एस्पेक्ट रेशियो, राइट? तो डेवलपर तो इसको डिजाइन कर दिया, इसको बना दिया, तो टेस्टर का काम क्या है कि वो टेस्ट करे कि ये पिक्चर के लिए अपलोड है, तो वो टेस्ट करे कि अलग अलग एस्पेक्ट रेशियो में दे आर वर्किंग करेक्टली और नॉट. तो डेवलपर तो टेस्ट नहीं करेगा। समझ रहे हो? कौन कौन पूछा था पिछले लास्ट लेक्चर में? राहुल साहू।
यस सर कल
तुम भी पूछा थे ना?
यस सर।
तो समझ में आया ना कि ये टेस्टिंग करने के बाद डिप्लॉयमेंट करना है। ये टेस्टिंग तो कुछ है ही नहीं, ये तो टेस्ट कर रहा है कि चल रहा है कि नहीं। तो वो सिर्फ एक पिक्चर अपलोड करेगा, देखिए हाँ चल रहा है, काम हो गया। अब ये क्या करेगा, ये जो सर्विस टेस्टर्स होते हैं वो क्या करेंगे, वो अलग अलग एस्पेक्ट रेशियो का पिक्चर डाल के देखेंगे, पीडीएफ डाल के देखेंगे, अलग अलग टाइप का कैटेगरी का मतलब एक्सटेंशन का पिक्चर डाल के देखेंगे। देन दे डिसाइड वेदर दिस सर्विस, वेदर द पिक्चर अपलोड फीचर इज कैपेबल, मीन्स sorry, whether the image upload feature is suitable for uploading in the production environment or not. Getting my point?
यस सर।
तो प्रोडक्शन इन्वायरमेंट में, प्रोडक्शन इन्वायरमेंट मतलब एंड यूजर के पास पहुंचना चाहिए। अब एंड यूजर के साथ भी टेस्टिंग होता है, बीटा टेस्टिंग, अल्फा टेस्टिंग। बीटा टेस्टिंग जो होता है वो एंड यूजर करता है, ठीक है। जो अगर प्ले स्टोर पर देखोगे तो बीटा वर्जन लिखा रहता है कहीं कहीं, तो वो ऐप बीटा वर्जन में है। यानी अगर कुछ गड़बड़ी होता है तो कंपनी रिस्पॉन्सिबल नहीं है फॉर कुछ भी। अगर तुम मान लो क्रेडेंशियल्स डाल दिए और कल को वो लीक हो जाता है तो कंपनी रिस्पॉन्सिबल नहीं है, ठीक है, अगर वो बीटा वर्जन में है तो, ठीक है। तो उसको कहते हैं कि टेस्ट होने के बाद भी एक टेस्ट होता है, अल्फा टेस्टिंग पढ़ोगे तुम लोग, सर्विस टेस्टिंग मतलब सॉफ्टवेयर टेस्टिंग में। तो टेस्टिंग में हमारे पास टेस्टिंग फॉर, मान लो टेस्टिंग करना चाहते हो तो हमारे पास अलग अलग अप्रोच है। अगर इफ यू आर टेस्टिंग फॉर प्रोसीजर ओरिएंटेड प्रोग्रामिंग, देन वी हैव डिफरेंट अप्रोच। मींस इफ यू हैव डिफरेंट सेट ऑफ फंक्शंस, व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ प्रोसीजर ओरिएंटेड प्रोग्रामिंग? सो in procedure oriented programming we have a different sets of function in the whole software system, right? So in those kind of systems we go for functional testing, and we simply test each one of the function for different inputs. Like we can use boundary value analysis, or there are different techniques you must have studied in software testing subject, right? Similarly for OOPS, means for object oriented programming kind of software, we have different approaches. And for service based means service oriented architecture kind of thing, we have different testing approach, right? Why we need different testing approach? Because here we have different set of functionalities, like you can see over here. यहाँ पे तो थोड़ा एक मिनट, see why we need different approaches for this service testing? Because it has new requirement to introduce the need of additional testing method and effort, because for example to support the realization of the service composability. मान लेते हैं सर्विस एक कंपोजिबिलिटी हो रहा है, ये इसको कंपोज कर रहा है, तो तुम अगर इसको टेस्ट करके छोड़ दोगे तो ये दोनों तो रह गया। समझ रहे हो?
यस सर।
तो for testing of this composability kind of feature, we need to test this one, and then this two, then this two, and then these three at a time, right?
सर ये भाई यूनिट टेस्टिंग, इंटीग्रेशन टेस्टिंग वही तो हुआ।
हाँ
अलग अलग
तो
है ना।
हाँ तो वो सर्विस, वो नहीं, वो सर्विस यूनिट टेस्टिंग जो तुम बोल रहे इंटीग्रेशन टेस्टिंग, वो डिफरेंट अप्रोच है, दूसरे में होता है।
हाँ सर वो तो पता है, लेकिन ये चीज तो वही है ना, हमने एक एक मॉड्यूल को टेस्ट किया।
हाँ
तो हाँ
मतलब उस टाइप का हमारे पास एक फीचर होना चाहिए। तो अगर कोई बुक लोगे जिसमें सर्विस टेस्टिंग के बारे में लिखा होगा तो इसके बारे में पूरा डिटेल होगा कि किस टाइप से हमारा टेस्टिंग टेक्नोलॉजी होना चाहिए जिसके कारण हमारा पूरा सिस्टम सिक्योर रहे, ठीक है। ओके, सो व्हाट आर द डिफरेंट इश्यूज व्हाइल वी आर टेस्टिंग आवर सर्विसेज? तो सपोज let's say in your MTech thesis paper you want to write a certain new service testing technique. Suppose in your MTech thesis paper you want to write a new service testing technique. So what you need to do, you need to go through what are the different issues you can face in testing a particular service, right? So these are the different set of services. So your service testing technique or service testing mechanism must consider each one of these issues, right, in your mechanism. What are the different service testing issues? You can see over here. What types of service request could potentially access a service? Can all service policy assertion be successfully made? So there are different service issues. You can go through this slide. Then we have service deployment and maintenance. Similarly, you must have heard of different service deployment tools. Anyone knows the different service deployment tools? So in the market, we have different service deployment tools like AWS. If you are working on AWS, we have there AWS Code Deploy. AWS Code Deploy. Then we have Jenkins in the market for Java programs. Jenkins. Then we have Bamboo. So these are the different service deployment tools. So what is the job of these service deployment tools? See over here. So the service deployment means the actual implementation of service into the production environment, right? So and what is the challenges if you are deploying particular service? Let's say here is your Oracle source code, and these are the services. These are the services through which we are communicating, right? And this is the gateway for the end user. So let's say this service is deployed on a particular machine. This service is deployed on another machine. This service is deployed on another machine. So what to do with this middleware? What to do with this middleware? Where we should deploy this middleware? So there are different challenges in service deployment. So again, it is a broad topic. So there is also a book on this service deployment only. So what are the challenges? All the challenges in service development are written over here. So you can see. So the challenges are: how will service be distributed? Is the infrastructure is adequate to fulfill the processing requirement of all the services? How will the introduction of new services affect existing services and application? How should services used by multiple solutions be positioned and deployed? So these are the different issues we are facing as a deployment engineer. So in the industry there is पहले क्या होता था, ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में डिप्लॉयमेंट इंजीनियर होते थे, लेकिन अब ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है. अब एक ही बंदा होता है, एक ही पर्सन होता है, वो क्या करता है, वो सारा काम देखता है, उसको कहते हैं डेवऑप्स इंजीनियर. डेवलपमेंट को भी देखता है और ऑपरेशंस पार्ट को भी देखता है. ऑपरेशन इन द ऑपरेशंस पार्ट वी हैव सर्विस डिप्लॉयमेंट, मेंटेनेंस एंड द वर्जनिंग, monitoring and the versioning part, right? So all the things are done by this single person who knows the DevOps. In the DevOps we have the list of different tools we need to learn. So this is also a different topic. So what is the meaning of maintenance? You know the meaning of maintenance. Service maintenance refers to the upgrades and changes that needs to be made to the deployment environment, right? Either as a part of initial implementation or a subsequent. It does not pertain to changes that need to be made to the service contract or the service logic, nor does it relate to any changes that need to be made part of the environment that would constitute a new. So these all are the surface meanings. You can go through them. And the service usage and monitoring. The name itself defines what is the meaning of service usage and monitoring. So in the last lab, when I was explaining about the fault handling, in the fault handling example, I have mentioned about that suppose any service goes down for a moment, and you need to log those issues in a database table, right? Everyone?
Yes, sir.
So that comes under the service monitoring. तो हमारा जो सर्विस कितने देर चल रहा है, दैट इज द सर्विस यूजेज, क्योंकि वी नीड टू पे देम. इफ यू आर यूजिंग एक्सटर्नल सर्विसेज वी नीड टू पे देम, राइट? सो वी नीड टू रेगुलरली मॉनिटर whether the particular service is up and down and the service usage. So these all are written in these statements. A service that sorry, a service that has been deployed and it is actively in use as a part of one or more service composition or has is considered to be in this stage. The ongoing monitoring of this service active service generates metrics that are required, that are necessary to measure service usage for evolutionary maintenance, such as scalability, or reliability, as well for business assessment regions, right? Such as when calculating the cost of ownership and ROI. ROI मतलब return on investment. So suppose I have talked to a particular service provider and I am using that their services for, let's say, 10 hours, and so I need to check with whether I am using, मीन्स कितना देर तक हम लोग यूज कर रहे हैं उस सर्विस को. ठीक है, सर्विस को मॉनिटर कर रहे हैं, ये हम लोग डिस्कस कर चुके हैं, लास्ट लैब में किए थे. और रिटर्न ऑन इन्वेस्टमेंट का मतलब क्या हुआ कि जो हम लोग पे कर रहे हैं उतना का यूज हो रहा है या नहीं. सिंपल मीनिंग है रिटर्न ऑन इन्वेस्टमेंट, राइट? So it is mainly done on cloud servers. If we are working on any cloud-based services, then this service monitoring and service usage becomes easy because we have different tools available on the cloud service available by the cloud service provider, like AWS has provided CloudWatch, where we can monitor each of these services provided by the AWS and whether they are means their availability, their scalability can be checked using those CloudWatch, right? So all these points are written based on the cloud service providers. Pay per usage fee, so different ways to pay them depending on the service usage, right? And the service discovery part, to ensure that reusable services are consistently reused. Why do we need service discovery? Suppose at this service oriented analysis phase, the second step was to find out whether particular service is already available in the inventory or not, right? In the second step of service oriented analysis phase, remember, find out the existing systems. So for those kind of things we need a service discovery mechanism so that we can find out whether the required service is already available in our service inventory or not, right? So for those that kind of scenarios we require service discovery mechanisms. So for those we have service discovery software, like software repositories, where we can publish our services, and whenever we require those services we simply go and check them whether they are available or not, right? To ensure that reusable services are consistently reused, project teams carried out separate and explicitly defined service discovery process. The primary goal of this process is to identify one or more existing agnostic services. The meaning of the agnostic services is reusability in nature, reusable services, such as utility or entity services within a given service inventory. I have already discussed these points. That can be fulfill generic requirements, means general requirements, whatever the business process the project team is asked while automating, right? So all these points I've already discussed in the previous section, or right now I have explained these points. So please go through these points. The last part is service versioning. Yeah. So after a service has been implemented and used in production environments, the need may rise to make changes to the existing service logic, right? At later point of time, we thought why not to change a particular service, and why not to upgrade those services to include new features in those services, means to increase the functional scope of this service, right? So for those cases we required service versioning mechanisms in our software systems. In cases like a new version of the service logic or service contract will likely to need to introduce to ensure the versioning of this service can be carried out minimal impact, right? Why we require minimal impact? How we can ensure this is going to impact minimally? Because these are loosely coupled systems. In loosely coupled systems, the impact is minimal, and the disruption to a particular service consumers that is already formed dependencies on the service. There are different provisioning strategies. Each of them introduces its own set of rules and priorities when it comes to managing the backward and forward capabilities of a service. And the last part is project stages, and which at which project stage who is going to work. So these are the diagrams you can see over here. The service inventory analysis and service oriented analysis analysis is done by service analyst. The name of the designation who does this analysis part is known as service analyst. Similarly, the service development is done by service developers, and the service oriented analysis, this service oriented design and service logic design is done by service architect. And similarly, we have service deployment and maintenance, service users and monitoring, discovery and versioning and retirement done by the service custodian. And the job of the service administrator is service testing. And this one, right? So please go through each one of the terminology, each one of the designation allotted to for different stages of a different project stages, right? So this was the end of this chapter. In the next chapter, we are going to see the service oriented analysis or modeling with web service and microservice, and then the second step. Here we are going to see service oriented analysis phase, and this is service oriented design phase, right? Similarly, this is for single TLS example. This is based on another example, and the last one is fifth chapter where we are going to see the service API and the contract versioning with web services and REST services, right? So any doubts till now? Anyone?
अमरनाथ, ये चैप्टर तुमने शुरू किया फ्रॉम द टॉप डाउन बॉटम अप एंड अटैक इन द मिडिल, यहाँ से शुरू हुआ, उसका बाद ये डिजाइन सब हुआ ना?
यस सर।
ये इनिशियली था। फर्स्ट स्लाइड को आ जाओ तो, फर्स्ट स्लाइड, फर्स्ट, हाँ नेक्स्ट वाला में, हाँ नेक्स्ट स्लाइड, नेक्स्ट, हाँ। So you see, all these things started with your planning for analysis. How you analyze a problem, then how you proceed towards the design, then how you implement it. These are the three methodologies or approaches the analyst as well as the designers develop. So your Abhishek Bhaiya has taken 3 days, 3 hours to explain each step very clearly, and this is a very good chapter, and it will help you in developing your assigned software. On various software you have been assigned and how you will develop it, I will advise you to go for top-down approach. Identify the bottom modules, but always proceed from top towards down with certain principles. That is the best approach. It takes time, but you know how you are proceeding. It takes time. Top-down approach takes time. So in the industries, very few industries follow the top-down approach. Anyway, Abhishek is doing a great job for you boys. So go through the book. Anybody has got the book? Chandrakant? चंद्रकांत,
यस सर।
तुमने किताब खरीदी?
यस सर, बुक खरीद लिया सर।
कितना पैसा लगा?
सर 300 सर।
ओ बहुत बढ़िया, बहुत बढ़िया। भाई थॉमस सर, अच्छा चंद्रकांत पहले ही किताब खरीद लेता है और किसके लिए रखता नहीं ना। बाकी लोग भी इस बार ले लिए और
Yes,
कोई
sir.
लिया?
यस सर।
हाँ ऋषभ, कितना पैसा लगा?
यस सर।
अमन
सर 180 रुपए सर।
हैं?
सर 180 रुपए सर।
अच्छा, सस्ता में मिल गया तुमको। और who else? चंद्रकांत, ऋषभ, हाँ
सर मैं भी ले लिया सर।
निर्मल has taken.
यस सर।
Yes,
सर
three.
सिद्धार्थ also.
Nirmal and Siddharth. So cost was?
Sir, mine was 250.
Okay, so the cost varies. Acha.
Sir, so we get that used books, so it
Hey.
varies.
Oh, used book is varies. Okay, I didn't know that. Last semester, Chandrakant was only lucky boy. He got only one book and he got it, purchased it. And this time,